Yo, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy Roy, accompanied by the one, the only, the Dominican bad man, Sergio, aka the floor price guy. And we're Combat Sport Guys coming back to you with another UFC full card breakdown, picks, analysis, and opinion. This time in the form of UFC Vegas 104. Vettori takes on Roman Dolidze for a second time in Vegas. But before we do, we're going to give you a recap of UFC 313, where we absolutely smashed it on our picks and our bets. Um, but before we do, how you doing, my man?
I'm good, brother. It was a good week. But yeah, I mean, look, let's get into it because look, we cashed in 11 bets. Fucking hell, what a great week, brother.
Yeah, 11 bets. And like, if you're new to the channel, if you're tuning in for the first time, a lot of what we do is we dissect the card on YouTube, and then at the end of the week, we put out our bets. We try to give you a straight money line bet. We try to give you bets at value, an underdog pick, our most confident pick. We give you parlays and we give you prop bets. And 11 of those bets hit. I believe 8 out of 10 of my bets hit. 4 out of your 6, I believe, hit. If the math is right, or 3 out of your 4 hit. And then our picks were good too. We were 7 out of 10. We're going to go over the full card right now. Make sure you hit the like. Make sure you hit the subscribe. Make sure you follow us on X. We are always engaging on X. We're always live for every fight card, dissecting the full fight, round by round analysis, giving you the live odds, giving you the updates, giving you the outcomes for free. Make sure you tap in. Now, for UFC 313, man, kicking off the card, we had Ozzy Diaz and Jordan Santos. We had both picked Jordan Santos to win the fight. And, one of the things that was interesting to me is that I gave him the first round, right? He had the the striking advantage. It looked like in the first round he was pushing the pace, but one of the things that I think led to the judges giving it to Diaz was that Santos looked tired as the fight progressed, right? And when you look tired, your hands drop. He was looking kind of sluggish, and Diaz kept pushing the pace, right? He kept moving forward in the second and third round. I think that's what won him the fight. But yeah, good fight though. I had it for Santos, but I could see
I
why
had
they
it for
gave it to
Santos.
Diaz.
I had it
Yeah,
for
and
Santos.
even though we picked Santos, the bet that I put out there at plus money was for them to go the distance, right? Because one of the things I looked at was, Ozzy Diaz has never made it out of the first round, and Santos has gone to a decision before. So a lot of people were banking on that this fight was going to end rather quickly because Diaz has been knocked out, and Diaz does knock out people. But I looked at this fight and I said, you know what? I think this is going to go to the distance. It did. We got that for plus money. That's the first bet that hit. What did you think of the fight?
Santos, man, it's a robbery, but it is what it is. I mean, look, it's just
I'm not
it's
mad at it though.
I'm not. I also didn't put a bet on him. I also didn't bother. I was gonna pick Aussie, um,
Hmm.
and considering just like I said, like how many fucked up decisions is he gonna have? So
Yeah.
I just stayed away from the fight. But like I knew he was dropping weight classes and he was gonna be a better, but Santos was piecing him up in the first round. It was crazy.
Yeah. And that's one of the things we talked about too, right? This fight is at middleweight, and this is kind of where like his bread and butter, right? This is where he was in the LFA. This is where he was a champion. So he did look better there, but we'll see. We'll move on. This next fight, though, I do think it was a robbery. We had Marion Santos defeating Francis Marshall via split decision. We had both picked Santos to win this fight, but I don't think he won, man. I think Marshall did get robbed. I think he looked cleaner. He secured takedowns. He was winning some of the striking stages. He even wobbled him, right? In the first round.
Yeah.
Was it the first round or second round? He even wobbled him, had him hurt. Yeah, I think Francis Marshall should have won that fight, but Vegas does what Vegas does, right? The judges do what they do, man.
And I was gonna just kind of check very quickly because like I think I had a prop with Santos if I'm not mistaken. I had a very good prop, and like it is what it is, right? Like it's just you want to avoid the situation, finish the fight next time.
Yeah. Excuse me. And then after that, we had Carlos Leal taking on Alex Morono. One of the bets we also had. Can you put the bets up?
Yes.
One of the bets we also had for this fight was for Carlos Leal to finish with inside the distance. And pretty much that's what he did. He got it done in the first round. I think the forward pressure, the pace, the shots to the body, the kicks, it was just a little bit too much for Morono. And one of the things we discussed and one of the things that I said was Carlos Leal was robbed in his first fight, right, up against Fakhretdinov, and I said that he's not gonna let this fight go to the judges' scorecard. He's gonna get a finish. He's not gonna be denied a victory here. So he looked good, man. He looked good. What did you think of his performance?
With Marshall,
No, with the Liao.
Oh,
Carlos Leao and
yeah,
Morono.
yeah, and I think that was my bet was it. The odds were pretty good for outside the distance. I just think what do you call my man over here, Morono, bro? Like if a guy's throwing that much heat, don't try to match his heat, knowing you don't have the gas tank. And that was my issue because if he would have circled away, clip, but circled away. But what he did was he decided to get into the fire and exchange with him, and I think that was a very bad idea. And look what happened. 2 minutes in, 2 minutes at the end of the round, bro, Leao just went on him, and instead of
He
him
overwhelmed them.
circled away, he didn't. But this is the issue. I remember Morono when he came in, he was the young cat. He was younger than all these cats. Now he's a little bit older. So yeah, it
And
is
I
what it
think
is.
and I think Morono understands that he's probably not going to contend for a title, so he wants to go out there and make the fights interesting. He wants to make them fun, right? That's why he engages in these striking battles instead of utilizing the jiu-jitsu. So, yeah, good win for Liao. We gave you Liao inside the distance. Next up, we had Ferreira, the underdog, taking on Armin Petrosian. We had both chosen. I think we were on opposing ends, right? I think you chose Petrosian to win, and I chose Ferreira to win. And sure enough, Ferreira got it done. I had the straight money line bet on him because he was the dog. I just didn't know how he was gonna finish him, whether it was gonna be KO. What the heck? Woo. My phone's been doing this thing, bro, where it just starts playing videos. That's weird, right?
Yeah, it's just
That
it's
was weird.
YouTube.
But
It's
yeah,
YouTube. It's
I
YouTube.
didn't know how he was going to get it done, whether he was going to get the submission because the threat's there for submission, or whether he was going to get the knockout. So I put the straight money line bet on him at dog money. He got it done. And, one of the things we talked about is that this fight suits him because he's going up against a pure striker in Armin Petrosian who's technical with the leg kicks and whatnot. And he was able to work more freely, right? He didn't have to worry about the threat of takedown or the threat of it going to the ground. So, yeah, good win for Ferreira. What did you think?
I think this was Petrosian's fight to lose, and he lost it. He. I mean, I'm trying to remember how the sequence went. I think it was the takedown was the issue, but also like the fact that let's be honest with you, brother. Ferreira's one more loss from realizing I'm not a middleweight. Let me go down to welterweight. And I think Petrosian was that guy that was going to keep him at distance, circle on his bike, but he did it. So got it done. Shout out to him. But he's one fight away from fighting in that welterweight division. For Petrosian, man, you got to get on that horse. You got to get on your jab, especially when you're the man with the reach. I think that was such an issue. Every time he would get close to clipping him, I'm like, brother, like use your range, use your footwork. But it's
Yeah.
easier when you dissect the fight and you're actually in there, and because he comes with speed. He reminds me of Kevin Gastelum in The Ultimate Fighter. Kevin was so
Mm.
dangerous because he would just lunge quickly forward, overhand right hook.
Yeah, and then Ferreira is good. He does have the ground threat as well. He has a background in judo. He can utilize trips. He can use that takedowns, and he has a submission threat. So I think he's pretty well rounded, man. I like Ferreira. I want to see what happens with him next. Next up, we had our featured prelim. We did have some fights canceled, so a lot of our parlays did include Gutierrez, who was the dog, with Van. But I didn't get refunded. So what happens is when I put that bet out, it just turns into a straight money line bet, right? It just eliminates
Yeah.
that person or that prop. So we had Joshua Van taking on Ray Saruya, and this fight went a lot of how we predicted it, right? I think Joshua Van's takedown defense is really good. It's getting better. He's only 23, I believe, or 22, and he's continuously improving, man. Like he demonstrated here. And Ray Saruya, I think you called it best. You said if he goes out there and he looks desperate, immediately shooting endlessly for takedowns, not, finding good entry points, not utilizing combinations to secure those takedowns, to find entry points to get those takedowns, it's going to be long, bruv. And sure enough, it was long. I think Joshua Van, man, he's a problem. I like Van, and I haven't picked against him yet. I'm not going to. I think he's a bad man.
He's the pick, bro. I mean, look, that Charles Johnson fight, you got to remember, he was connecting against Charles Johnson, and until that third round, Johnson caught him.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't put him down. But Josh Van is no joke. And like, I got to say, I had a 3-leg parlay with Van. I think Ruffy, Van, and Curtis Blade. Blade fell out, so my parlay kicked in. Thank God they didn't
Mm-hmm.
cancel it. And also, like, the minus money, it's like a minus 140.
Yeah.
I also had Gutierrez and Van by default, that was straight up money line, baby. So Van is always the pick. And like I said, like I'm just afraid in his next fight, he's gonna get massive odds. Like
Yeah.
yeah, he's gonna we're gonna see like a minus 220, minus 300.
And now he's in the top 15, so the level of competition changes, right? So it's going to be interesting to see who they give him and what he does in his weight class. But I wouldn't have bet him at that money line at 165, 170. He was a good parlay piece to put in, right? Because I knew he was gonna. I
He's
had a
beautiful.
feeling he was gonna win it because I just wasn't too confident Saruya's striking to bang with Van. But it is what it is, right? We had him at money line, and we'll move on here to our main card. We had Mauricio Hufi knocking out King Green in spectacular fashion. One of the props we put out was Ruffy by KO. I also had Ruffy in a parlay. I had Ruffy, Bahamondes, and Limos and Lucinda over 2.5 round. That's not listed here, but that was a parlay that hit. I believe that was at like a plus 190, I believe, or plus 200. I don't remember the complete odds for it, but it was plus money. We put that out as one of our parlays, and it hit. We also put out the prop, the KO prop, so that hit as well. Great fight, man. The Fighting Nerds remain undefeated. They're 18-0 now. What did you think?
I mean, we both had Roofy. Like you know, the issue is like Bobby Green. You know, shout out to Green under the King name. He's 0-2. Let's not dismiss his age. Let's not dismiss the wear and tear. Let's not dismiss the chin. Yeah, and you're fighting a guy, bro, that's just like, let's be honest with you, bro. Conor
50
McGregor,
fights too, bro. 50 fights he has as well. I'm sorry to interrupt you. 50 fights.
50 fights, bro. 50,
Yeah.
50, 15 grit. But then you have like Ruffy's on the come up.
Yeah.
Bro, like and that's the thing about it. Topuria, Ruffy, a bunch of these cats have emulated Conor McGregor. So if you don't get Conor, you don't get these guys. And that is prime Conor McGregor right there. And he's grabbed that style, he made it his, he knows how to work it, and voila. But why, bro? But let's talk about it. Why did he get KO'd? It's the same reason, because when King fights, he drops his hands in exchange for mobility.
Yeah.
He paid the price.
And, we're not too far removed from Conor McGregor. That was 10 years ago, right? When he was at his peak almost. And a lot of these cats that are in their mid-20s, they're in their early 20s, they grew up watching McGregor. So I think we're going to see more and more people emulating that style, kind of, who idolized him growing up, right? Maybe they don't idolize him now due to the antics and the way he's acting, right? He's crashing out. He's taking substances, whatnot. You get me? Like, they probably don't admire him now, but back then they probably looked up to him as they were coming up in their fight career. So we're going to see a lot of people emulating his style and whatnot.
Baby. That movement is Conor McGregor.
100%.
100%. The way he threw that kick too, that's Conor.
Let me ask you something. Out of the core four of the Fighting Nerds, Kyle Brallo, Gene Silva, Carlos Prates, Mauricio Hufi, who's your favorite? And who do you think is the first one to get an L?
I think Rufi, I think Prates is my guy. The thing is, Prates is in a division where there's a lot of wrestlers, right? Like that division is dominated,
scary, right? Because we haven't seen him tested.
Like even like with Jeff Neal, like I think he has it in the bag. I would love to see those props too. Like it all depends on how I'm betting, because look at Prates versus Neil Magny in his last fight. They gave us Magny at a minus 800. Like, bro, like I don't want to pick. Like, I like Prates, but I don't want to pay him. I don't want to have to put a minus 800. So what do? We go either go inside the distance or we go the knockout.
You know what's crazy? No. Prates was, he has a fight in a month, right? And he was at the fight drinking beer, smoking cigarettes. Like, my man acting like he don't have a fight in a month, man.
But you know what that is? That's how the Thais do it, though. The Thais have a very special situation going on for them. Like there's an episode of Tough where George St. Pierre is with his Muay Thai coach, and Muay Thai would go in drunk and train with the guys, with Michael Johnson, Alex something, I forget his name, the Dominican cat from Florida. And this was like the Ultimate Fighter 12, I want to say, GSP versus Kolchak. And he would come in drunk, but that's the Thai way, Marlboro, man.
Yeah, there's some people like that they need that chaos, right? They need that stimulant, right, to keep them going. Like, I think Aljamain Sterling talks about John Jones, right? Like, he's like, Sterling would be like, I would rest before training, and I'd make sure I'd be well rested, and we go to training. But when I would talk to John Jones, he'd talk about how he'd be out. he'd be out clubbing, he'd be out at the party, he'd be out till 4 or 5 a.m. and he'll come into training and he'll be fine. He'll look crisp. He'll take everybody out. So some people need that chaos, man. I think Michael Jordan was like that too. He needed that chaos, man. He had to go out gambling, go out partying, and then come in and practice and play the next day. So
The
there's certain people
original,
like that.
the original Degen.
The original Degen, right?
Original Degen.
Next up, we had a fight in Amanda Lemos taking on Yasmin Lucindo, where we were on opposing ends here. And like Joe Rogan said, this young man has a lot of talent in Lucindo, but Lucindo did not do anything. She looked scared. Were the lights too bright? You think was she a little shell shocked? Was she a little starstruck? You know, I don't know. There wasn't a lot from both of them. If you think about it, it wasn't a lot from both of them. Yeah, Lemos got it via unanimous decision, dog money. The pick though, the prop was for it to go over 2.5 rounds. That hit. But the pick didn't land, so
and I think I had a little live bet for Amanda Lemos. Like I said, like it goes back into Tabitha Richie versus Jan. Like I picked Richie, but like I kind of knew that Jan was gonna win, and I think like the thing is with the women's division, sometimes like just like the pick is not really the pick, and just somebody I fought for the belt. It's because like our girl's that good. Like, look, how much money did we make against the champion Zhang? A ton.
Oh,
so it was
a dog, bro.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was the craziest dog of the year, I think, so far. Oh, I don't know. We'll come up to another dog that was pretty crazy.
That was crazy. And even after the first round, and it's just like we live, we learn. But I gotta say something. Like Amanda Lemos, I had her winning. Like bro, it's just like when you get these fighters that are so young, and dude, Amanda Lemos fought for the belt two times. Like,
yeah,
like what are we doing? Like, what are we? But it's because those divisions are so thin, right?
Yeah, and then obviously, like you get like the UFC. I think Dana White has talked about it. Unlike boxing, right? You know how boxers they try to protect their records, they try to protect their status, and they prolong fights. Dana White has said, we throw them into the fire. You either have it or you don't, right? So if we feel that you're ready, we're going to put you up against somebody. We're going to test your abilities, and you either make it or you don't, or you have to adapt or you don't. So hopefully, Lucindo being so young, she's going to adapt from this and come back from this.
Well, she needs to go to Muay Thai and just work on her striking, brother, because there was no striking whatsoever.
I think she was just shy, man, because she does have good striking. She was just shy. I don't know what it was.
But Lemos was like, but
a little bit bigger too. Lemos was a little bit bigger.
Well, massively bigger, I would say. But then Lemos relied on the, you know what it is, bro. It's like she big broed her. She big sistered her. That's all.
Yeah, that's what it was. We'll move on here to Ignacio Bahamondes defeating Jalen Turner via submission triangle choke. We kind of see this often, right? Like when we have two wrestlers or two grapplers going against each other, they lean towards the striking, right? When we have two strikers going together, they kind of result in a submission, right? Or something like that of that nature. And this is what happened here. He locked in the triangle choke. He got it done. Bahamondes is no joke. He's now in the top 15, I believe, as well, right? I think he took Jalen Turner's number 12 spot. Jalen Turner, unfortunately, retired. He never truly overcame what he experienced at UFC 300, right? And, the mental issues and whatnot, are real. And he decided to walk away from the octagon. He announced his retirement on X. I wish him well. I hope he's doing well. But Bahamondes got it done. And when this fight was done and that parlay hit, I was already up a lot of money. So whatever happened after the fact, I was all good for. What did you think of this fight, man? What did you think of Bahamondes?
I mean, you and I know that Bahamondes was the pick.
Yeah.
And it's also, it was the first time Turner fighting somebody his length. Like, I didn't realize that till I was like, okay, well, I might go. I think I told you I might go with Turner.
Yeah, before we got live, you told me I'm gonna pick Turner. I was like, whoa, bro. I talked you out of it. I think.
No, it was the reach. Like it was just a reach. Like I'm somebody that I love reach, and when you got a guy that's like quick as hard as Bahamondes, it's hard to deny that. And also, like Turner came out today that he might not be retired, but here's the thing about that. He's going to take some time, bro. Like, don't come back. Even because the thing is, the UFC is probably going to offer him a contract in 6 months. Turner is he's up and coming. Bro, take a year. Take a year. Just fuck off. And I see this in a polite way because you need to disconnect from the internet, from the pressures, from knowing you have a fight. A lot of times, knowing you have a fight, that creates a mental burden.
Yeah.
You just need a break. You need to get that hunger again, and then come back at me.
Of course. I agree with you 100%. Next up, we had our co-main event: Justin Gaethje defeating Rafael. Oh, I always say Rafael Fiziev via unanimous decision. Gaethje was the underdog, I believe, at a plus 180, right? And one of the things we talked about was a lot of people are counting out. There's this freaking crazy narrative that his chin is gone, and I'm like, one of the things we talked about was like, you need to talk about the nature of the knockout. Was he just randomly knocked out like middle of the fight, right? Like, was he just caught with the wild combination that put him out cold? No, he broke his nose early in the fight. He dogged it out 5 rounds, and the last 10 seconds he got invited to duke it out. Of course he's gonna get knocked out, man. The likelihood of you getting knocked out in those 10 seconds increase exponentially, dude. And that's what happened. He got caught, he got knocked out, and a lot of people are like, oh, he's old, his chin is gone. Come on, brother. He's going up against a guy who's coming in on short notice, right? He's coming off a leg surgery. He tore his ACL. Like, what are we doing? So
I'll say this: Henry fucked me up. Henry, I'm up again, by the way. Like, but Henry said it was real, and I fucking hate it so much, champ, because when he fucked me up, he's very proud. But bro, if you would have just said
that tweet got you upset, right?
There was a tweet bro, shut the fuck up, bro. Like, bro, all you had to do was I couldn't see. Not fucking go to the 4th round and be like, I can't see. Yeah. Bro, if you would have said that to me, I put $400 on it. I'm fucking mad, brother. But it is what it is, because it was gonna be a no contest. But hey, he wants to brag about it. That's cool, man. Sure, in the 4th, you couldn't see, but call it what it is. So going into this fight, sorry, I don't know why.
No. This fight got you back up.
It got me back up, nice. Right. And I'll say this, like, I told you, like, what the fuck is going on? But bro, then you add the fact that, like, he's you know what the other thing was? Motherfuckers put Rafael as a favorite, bro, knowing he only took this fight 10 days notice.
Yeah.
Hooker.
Well, I think a lot of it too was the fact that they fought before, and a lot of people thought that he won the first fight, right? And the way rematches go is people think, oh, well, they won the first fight, they're going to win the second fight, right? Or they almost won the first fight, they're going to win the second fight. So I understand the pick on Fiziev, but yeah, Hooker. Did you see the photos of Hooker and his knuckle?
Yeah.
His hand? It's bad, huh?
It's just, bro, like, and the thing that, like, you said it the best, bro. Like, what do you want? The guy went against Max Holloway. How many fucking rounds? Guy was tired. He should have never duked it out. Like, and that's the thing about it, because, bro, Justin wasn't there for that brawl. Yeah. Holloway was there. So
exactly. And that's one thing that, like, I told you throughout the whole week when I was reading these tweets, like, man, people are saying that his chin is gone, that he's old. Like, they don't realize how he got knocked out, or, what were the circumstances revolving the knockout. It's just crazy to me. But, Fiziev on the Ariel Helwani show talked about how he wants to drop down in weight. So he's going to go to featherweight. I think he could be a problem there. I think he could look a lot faster there, a lot crisper there. I just
don't know how, so it's a bit weight. I don't know what's the wake up, but, like,
yeah, we'll see. But I think how tall is he?
He's a smaller fighter.
He's 5'8". I think he could do it. I think he could do it and look a lot crisper, because he's already fast at lightweight. So imagine him at featherweight. I think he's going to be a problem. And then Gaethje, Gaethje, Ali is out there tweeting for him. He's asking for a title shot against Islam. So do they give it to him? He doesn't want to run it back with Poirier. He said he doesn't want to do that again. I think Islam's the fight to make, man. Well, I honestly believe, like, in my heart, that Poirier is gonna fight someone before fighting Islam. I think they're gonna build that fight to be a super. I mean, it's already a super fight, right? But I think Poirier is gonna take on somebody else, man. Well, I don't know. That's what I feel.
Give him Dustin, then. I think that's the fight they're gonna make, Dustin and him. I think that's the fight.
I don't think it makes sense to give him Poirier and Gaethje for the number 1 contenders, but I don't think
no. Give him Dustin.
Give it to Gaethje. Yeah, give him Dustin. That's what I feel. But we'll see. We'll move on here to our main event. This is the pick that we got incorrect. Alex Pereira losing to Magomed Ankalaev via unanimous decision. And when this fight was happening, right, going into the 4th round, I told you, oh man, I think it's 2-1, man, right? I think it's 2-1 going into this round. You're like, nah, I think it's 1-1, or I think it's 2-1 for Pereira. That third round was very decisive for some people. Like
It
you
was
could give it
2-2.
either way, but what's up?
It was 2-2. And I think the two of the judges had a 2-2 going into the last round.
Yeah, but I think looking back at it, I think Ankalaev, he won the fight. I don't agree with the 49-46. I think it was closer than that, but I think that Ankalaev's game plan was really was really well incorporated in the sense that he made Pereira fight backwards. We're used to seeing Pereira stalk his opponent, right? Stalk his opponent, move forward, use that leg kick, chop the leg kick, and then find that left hook, right? That's what we're used to seeing, right? He stalks his prey. But in this fight, he was being pushed back throughout the fight. He came alive in the fifth round, right? He came alive in the fifth round, and we got to see the Pereira that we're used to, but it wasn't enough. I think Pereira, in my opinion, he didn't fight like how we normally see him fight. He was anticipating the take. I think he was fighting in fear of anticipating a takedown,
Yeah.
right? That's kind of how I saw him. Like he wasn't fully committing because he was anticipating him to shoot at some point. But we called it, man. I'm happy that the fight went how it went because a lot of people were touting Ankalaev to be this pressure wrestler. Like, he's going to shoot for these takedowns. He's going to take him down. He's going to maul him. He's a Khabib-esque. He's like Chimaev. I'm like, bro, do you even watch Ankalaev? He's a rangy striker. He's going to piece him up from the range. He's going to get his licks in. He wobbled him in the second round, right? What did you think of the fight, man? What do you think of Ankalaev?
You know, I'll tell you this. I'll talk about Pereira. Ankalaev did what he needed to do, but Pereira, the issue why he lost, he just kept the game plan. Like people talk shit about how he's been partying and doing all this stuff. Bro, like I said, bro just saw the John Blachowicz fight and said, I'm gonna do the same thing. And the fact is, bro, he was having good success with the kicks. And I think he was so in the game plan that he forgot because he didn't really abandon the plan. Like he did. Like he was kick, and it was working. So at some point in the fight, I was waiting. When is it going to buckle? It never buckled. And I think that is the issue. He was just too in, too late. They're saying Pereira had a tendonitis. There's all these different things. And I mean, look.
It is what it is, man. He lost.
But that's the most active champion the UFC has. He's fought 4 times. In a span of like what 11 months, 12. I don't even know.
And when we broke down the fight, we talked about both their avenues to victory, right? And Ankalaev had the better avenue, man. He utilized, the threat of takedown. He utilized the range. He got in his face. He made him fight backwards, and he won the fight. So shout out to Ankalaev. He's the new champ, and we'll see if they run it back, man. I think they're gonna do the rematch. There's talks about the rematch. What are you doing? What happened?
Make it in Saudi Arabia. That's it.
Yeah, make the rematch. I think the UFC was hoping Pereira would win so they can kind of do the Pereira versus Jones, right? But I think that now that Pereira lost, I think that lost a lot of juice. And now the Aspen on Jones is more likely to occur, in my opinion.
I hate the narrative of Dana White not being happy. Like, bro, I saw that video, bro. Dana White, he didn't do anything, bro. It is what it is, bro. Like,
wait, you don't like the narrative that he's happy?
No, I don't like the narrative that people say, "Oh, he's disgusted." Bro, Dana did what look down, and that's it. Like,
of course, they do that every time somebody wins from Dagestan.
We've seen worse calls, and Dana react.
Of course. No. I'm saying that the UFC was probably hoping Pereira would win, so they can build that fight and sell that fight. But you can't really sell. Like, it doesn't make sense for John Jones to fight Pereira in a super fight. I mean, what's on the line, right? If he had the title, that would have been crazy for John Jones to fight for the title, light heavyweight again, right?
He'll be back. My guy's gonna be back.
We'll break this card down. We took about a half hour on that. Let's break down UFC Vegas 104. Vettori facing off against Roman Dolidze. Kicking off the card, we have Carly Judice taking on Unesi Duben. Duben is 6-0 and is 5-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last beating Shannon Clark via KO, where she was a massive underdog. Judice is 3-2-0 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last losing to Gabriela Hernandez via split decision. Duben, she has the power. She's a power striker with 100% finishing rate. She's ended all her fights with inside the distance. She's explosive. She's aggressive. She throws that brutal overhand right. The only issue is she does have limited experience up against high level opposition, right? This is her UFC debut, and her grappling remains largely untested at this stage. When you look at Judice, she's a southpaw. She's well rounded. She has crisp technical striking. She has a background in Muay Thai. However, she does have a lack of finishing power. She does throw with volume, but she doesn't have that power to put people out. Uh, all three of her wins come by decision, and I think in this fight, she's the favorite because I believe a lot of people or the odds makers are banking on the fact that Duben hasn't been past the first round, right? So they don't know how she's gonna look in the second round, third round. I mean, she hasn't gone to a decision. I mean, so they don't know how she's gonna look in the fight later on. Is she gonna gas out? How's her defense? How's her takedown defense? And in this fight, if you're on the side of Judice, who's the favorite at a -500, is she gonna utilize that Muay Thai to engage in the clinch, to throw her down, to kind of subdue the power, right? Is Duben going to be able to get in the pocket, defend, throw that overhand, knock her out? We're going to find out. I like Duben here just because the odds are so wide. I like Duben here as a dog, man. You know, there's always that puncher's chance. And those questions we're going to get answers to. So we'll see what happens. Who you got, man?
We're going Duden right now. We're dropping a money line at $50. $50 will generate you $200 back. I am bullish on like these odds right now. They're not at a plus 380 anymore. They're a plus 285. So somebody has taken advantage of the situation. I saw this fight. I saw both fighters. I understand she's a 1-round fighter because that's all she's seen. But when I saw Judice fight, it didn't. I wasn't impressed. I didn't. Like I said, we need to start judging these fights in terms of tags.
Yeah.
Why is she getting a -500? Like she doesn't look like like when she fought Gabriella, she didn't look like a -500. When she fought Ernesto, she didn't look at a -500, right? Maybe again these fighters, you don't. But that's the thing, you don't know about these situations. Like look at this fighter, 3-3, 1-3.
I think the odds are like this because she has fought. But she has fought UFC caliber and she has gone the distance, right?
1-8. Come on, what are we doing over here, bro? I get it. I understand. But when you put somebody at a -500, bro, that's domination, bro. That's domination.
Yeah, so we're both going with Duden to win this fight.
Heavy, bro. We got that money line locked in. Hey, and I could be wrong, but bro,
yeah, I'm not going. I have money on her, but I'm not going heavy.
Oh, $50
because anything could happen.
$50, $50, bro. That's all.
Yeah.
From my
so we'll move on here.
My Justin Gaethje earnings, baby. Let's go, bro.
Next up, we have Josiane Nunes taking on Priscila Cachoeira. Cachoeira is moving up to 135 for this fight. Ojo, keep an eye for that. Cachoeira is 12-6-0 and is 2-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last losing to Jasmine Jasduvicius via submission. Our girl Jazzy baby. Nunes is 10-3-0 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last losing to Jacqueline Cavalcante via split decision. Close fight. They have Josiane Nunes as a favorite at a -205 and Cachoeira as a dog at a +170. I think this fight is a lot closer than what it seems, right? Because they're both similar styles, right? Like you look at Cachoeira, she doesn't have the best technique, but she pushes forward and engages in scraps. She struggles on the ground, as we saw in her last fight up against Jasduvicius. She has poor striking defense, and I think that's going to be the differentiating factor in this fight. She's a brawler. She's known for her toughness and her ability to absorb punishment. But you look at Nunes, she's a bully striker, right? She's small in the division. She's like think of Bruno Ferreira, short, but with the reach, right? So she's shorter. She's 5'2", but she has the reach advantage. And I know you like reach. She has the 2-inch reach advantage. She throws overhands, pushes forward, gets in your face. She also throws nice leg kicks. Her grappling isn't the best despite her takedown defense being at 66%, but I don't see this going to the ground. She's a power puncher. She has 70% knockout ratio. 7 out of her 10 wins are by KO, TKO. I think she excels in the stand-up exchanges, and I think that she's going to excel here, man. I think this is going to be a fun fight. Does it end in a finish? I don't know. Does Cachoeira's durability stand up in this weight class? Does it hold up? I'm gonna go with Nunes here. I think she's the more exciting striker. She's the more aggressive striker. I'm gonna go with Nunes.
Yeah, I don't see a pathway for Priscilla. coming out from these fights, like I understand that these girls are more submission based, but
Mm-hmm.
Nunes is more power based, and you're going to a new division, right? Like you're going to a, I don't know, I really, really don't know. And Nunes is what do you call it here? Yeah, I mean, look, at least she's fighting somebody that's not going to take her down, right? It's going
Yeah.
to bang with her. That being said, I think here the decision is good there. The decision is a minus 165. I think the odds have gone down. She's no longer a minus 205. Nunes is a minus 77. So we are seeing good correlations of underdogs and favorites like diminish in value or
Yeah.
grade. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Nunes here. I think Nunes did very good against Cavalcante. I think that
Mm-hmm.
Cavalcante is a tough fight. So yeah,
Yeah. I think this is a close fight, so it can go either way, but I'm gonna slightly lean towards
Nunes, baby.
Nunez here to get it done. Next up, we have a men's flyweight bout. We have Andre Lima, the undefeated Andre Lima, taking on Daniel Barez. Lima is 10-0 and is 5-5 in their last five bouts, last beating Felipe dos Santos via unanimous decision. Daniel Barez is 17-6-0 and is 4-5 in their last five bouts, last beating Victor Altamirano via unanimous decision. I believe I chose Altamirano in that fight, and you chose Barez, right? And I think he pulled out the unanimous decision win. Lima, man, he's a dog, right? He's
He's
the
him,
only
bro.
person. He's the what's up?
He's him.
Yeah, he's the only person in the UFC that's gotten the bite bonus. My man got bit in his UFC debut, and you know what he said? He said, "I'm not going to the doctors. I'm not going home. I'm not gonna cry. I'm gonna go get it tattooed." My man went to the tattoo shop, the tattoo parlor right away, and got it tattooed on his arm. Um, I like Lima here. Lima, in his last fight against Felipe dos Santos, he switched the game plan in the second round, right? Because he was engaging in the striking, and then in the second round, he started incorporating the jiu-jitsu in the ground game. And he was in search of the submission, right? He went for 2 submission attempts. He was unsuccessful. But in one of the things he said in his post-fight interview was that he wanted to showcase that he isn't only a striker, right? He isn't only known for having the nice kicks. He's also well-rounded. He has the tools to succeed in MMA, right? Because when you look at Lima, he has the kickboxing, the Muay Thai background, right? He's a striking specialist. He has the kickboxing pedigree. He has a really good stand-up game. He's a 3-time Brazilian kickboxing champion, man. So, his striking I'm comfortable with, and in his last fight, his jiu-jitsu looked good as well. And you look at Barres here. Barres is a well-rounded fighter. He has a strong striking base. He has a knack for finishing fights. He has 7 knockouts and 6 submissions in his 17 wins. He does have grappling vulnerabilities, right? It's like his grappling game isn't the best, but he does have the durability, he does have the resilience, and he does have striking power. I think in this fight, I'm gonna go with Lima. I think he's the better overall fighter. I think his striking is good. I think his ground game is good, and I'm actually gonna look and explore the idea of Lima getting this victory by sub. I think Lima's going to take this fight to the ground. He's going to look for that sub. He's going to find what he couldn't find in his last fight. Because in his last fight against Felipe dos Santos, he was looking for that submission win, and he didn't get it. But I think in this fight, he's live to get it. He has like a 30. I did the math. I did the calculation. He has like a 30% chance to get a submission win because Barez has been choked out before. He has been beaten via submission. So I'm gonna go with Lima here. I'm gonna explore the idea of betting the sub prop on him. I gotta see that when it drops for me. What do you have that line yet?
No, the over is 1.5 minus 385. Under this distance or no, minus 175 to go the distance.
Mm-hmm.
Um, no distance plus 130. No, there's no submission yet.
No submission yet.
I'm gonna go with
I'm gonna
Lima.
explore that idea because in his last fight, I think he was looking for it and he wasn't able to get it. But I think in this fight, his likelihood of getting it increases a little bit.
Yeah, and I picked against Lima. Like I like Felipe dos Santos. I think Felipe dos Santos is a good prospect. Flyweight, but he wasn't like Philly. I think it's just Lima's more well rounded. I had Barres winning. Barres is no joke. Like if anything,
Mm-hmm.
like the
Good
ground game
boxing.
is good boxing. I think good demonstrated good takedown defense against the I want to say the Mexican guy. Am I correct?
Altamirano. I think he's
Altamirano.
Mexican.
Mexican, yeah. But No, I'm gonna go with Lima. Lima's right now sitting at a minus 380. He's definitely in the parlay already. He's locked in. I got him in a 3-man parlay. So yeah,
Nice.
I'm picking Lima.
Yeah. Make sure you guys tap in on X. We do drop our bets, our parlays, our prop bets on Thursday or Friday, depending on when the props drop for us, depending on when we get to them. But we do drop them there for free. We don't have a paywall. We don't have you subscribe to anything. We don't have a Discord. We don't have none of that. We're just for free out there. You can tell, you can consider, you can disagree, whatever you want. All opinions are welcome, right? We're not going to crash out on you. We're not going to be all emotional about it, you know?
That's
At the
crazy.
end of the day, this is all opinions. And make sure you bet what you're willing to lose, right? Don't overextend yourself. And then the last thing is picks are different from bets. As you saw in our initial breakdown of UFC 313, we picked certain fighters, but we didn't necessarily bet on them. We bet on different props and whatnot. So we'll move on here to a women's bout. We have Sam Hughes taking on Stephanie Luciano. Hughes is 9-6-0 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last beating Victoria Dudakova via split decision, where she was an underdog. Luciano is 6-1-1 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last beating Talita Alencar via unanimous decision in the rematch. What do you think of this fight? What do you make of this fight?
I'm going with Luciano, man. Right now she's sitting at a minus 210 odds to have. I was seeing Sam. It didn't really appease me. I like I said, like I'm looking for value. I didn't see the hunger from Sam. I look at the record too, and the record, brother, indicates no bueno. I said she turn it up, she turn on the wrestling maybe, but I don't know. Luciano just looks like also the bigger fighter. Not that much reach, but yeah, I think she gets it done. However, let's see if Sam comes to grapple. Let's see how we're gonna see Luciano's takedown defense getting tested.
Yeah, and I think in Luciano's last fight against Alencar, you know, she did hold her own on the ground, right? And Alencar, she does have a background in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I don't think it's going to be that much of an issue on the ground. Is Sam Hughes going to be able to secure takedowns? That's a good question, right? But I think Luciano's striking is a lot better. I think she has better fundamentals, and I think that's what's going to be the differentiating factor here. Now, I could see Hughes being a decent underdog for some people, right? She's going to push the pace. She's going to push the pressure. She has good cardio, right? She's durable. So I could see you betting on that side if you're going off of those reasons. But I think Luciano is going to piece her up, man. She's going to, you know, she's going to maintain the range, pick her shots, and then close in and get in the pocket. I think she's the more technical of the two. And I think for that reason, she's going to win, man. And, you know, despite not having the full stats on her takedown defense and whatnot, I think she can hold her own on the ground. So I'm going to go with Luciano as well.
I got to say something. I just looked at does the fight go to the distance? Minus 160. Sorry, minus 600 for yes. Minus
Oh,
6.
wow. Yeah. So I think in this fight, if you know, if it's always the over, right? What's the 1.5? The 2.5?
Bro, minus 1400.
Oh, yeah. We're not touching this.
Oh, and I mean, look, I'm gonna go in right now, and I'm gonna put $5 on the fight ends in a finish. Just cause five little dollars.
Because you're a degen, right? Just because you're a fucking
$5
savage.
little dollars.
Just because you're a fucking savage. Just say it. I'm a savage. I'm a degenerate.
No, but I'm not. We're not gonna call that bet on the X. Fuck that. That's a degen nasty play.
Yeah. You know, and all the bets we put out on X are bets that we think are gonna hit. We don't like. I know a lot of other people. They do lock of the week. They do lock of the night. They do dog of the night, dog of the week, whatever. Right? Pick, sure lock. I think all the bets that we put out on our X are confident picks. They're confident locks for us, right? We don't have one more over than the other. We have picks that are more confident than the other. But our bets, you know, I don't put money on a bet that I don't think is gonna hit. No, that's the reality of it. I'm not out here chasing Chris Barnett via submission up against Kennedy and Njokuani. Remember that, man? I remember reading that on X. I was like, yo, you know, they got Barnett at a plus 1600, brother. I think I'm gonna put $20, man, if he gets the sub. Yeah, you know, if you want to be degenerate, do that. But we're not gonna put those type of bets out there for you guys. So
that's why we're not invited to the cabals. Like
all the bets we put out are bets that we confidently think are going to hit. They're all locks for us. So we'll move on here to a debuting Josias Musasa taking on Carlos Vera. Musasa is 8-0 and is 5-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last beating Otari Tanzilovi via split decision. Vera is 11-4-0 and is 4-5 in their last 5 bouts, last losing to Rinya Nakamura via unanimous decision. Now, when you look at Carlos Vera, he's a well-rounded fighter with a grappling heavy approach. He does have 6 submission wins on his record. He has solid Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu skills. He has 3 knockouts and 2 decisions, so there is a little bit of power behind his hand. Oh, the issue with him, though, is I don't think he's an offensive grappler. He's good on the ground, but he doesn't necessarily secure takedowns, right? And I think Musasa, when you look at him, he's a striker with devastating knockout power. He has that touch of death, right? 7 out of his 8 wins have come via KO, despite the last one being a decision win. He's athletic. He's explosive. His grappling, we don't know how it's going to look at a high level being in the UFC, but I think I trust in his ability to keep this fight standing to get the victory here. I think he's gonna, yeah, I think he's just a better striker in comparison to Carlos Vera. I wouldn't be surprised though if the fight goes to the ground and Vera secures a submission or he ties up something crazy, but I trust enough in Musasa's takedown defense to bring this fight up to the feet and where he's gonna excel, right, and piece up Vera. So I'm gonna go with Musasa here. I think he's a good prospect. I watched a couple of his fights in the African promotion. Guy's pretty good, man. He has some power. He's athletic. He's fast.
He looks quick, but listen, like all indications look towards Musasa for the win. But I gotta say, Vera at a plus 455.
Good value, right? If you want to go that route.
I already put $20 on the money line. $20 gets me $110, so 130 in total. When I watched Musasa in his Contender series, I watched a bunch of takedowns. I watched different stuff. That's the only reason why I think there's a chance. And like we said, is this guy really a minus 625? Did he really look like a minus 625? I don't think so. So unless he goes, like I said, unless he goes into that fight, stuns him out, then he's a problem.
Yeah, and obviously, when you get all these knockout wins, the questions regarding cardio and endurance come into question. But I think he gets it done here, man.
But even
we'll move on. You're gonna pick Vera?
I pick Vera, but will the fight go the distance of plus 165 for the distance, minus 220 for the knockout? So they're estimating that Musasa is gonna knock him out. That's what they're estimating. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, because they look at the record, the recent, his wins, the likelihood of him finishing the fight increase, right? That's how these odds are made, right? It's all like statistically based, dude. Like it's crazy. Yeah. I met a guy who worked for a sports book, and one of the sports that he was tasked with managing was soccer, right? And he would talk about how they look at all this data and all this analysis to determine the odds. And it's really interesting, man. It's very, very very, very complex at what they look at. So yeah. I can see why they.
Yeah, we know that sometimes there's, bro. Like that's the thing about it. Remember that fight that Krause, James Crouch, the coach, got banned because his fighter came in injured and the line went up, and we don't know. Like this motherfucker come in with a fucked up ankle. Like they go.
Well, that's the thing though. The odds are based on the stats and the data available, right? Like there's no data that equates to injury, like stuff that's unbeknownst to us, right? Like the injuries, the sicknesses and stuff like that. Those are things that are out of our control. We can only pick these fights based on the data available, their previous fights, right? Watching the film. We've been burnt a couple of times when people after a fight, like, oh, my shoulder was injured, or oh, I didn't feel too well, right? Like how many times does that happen to us? Where we're like, yo, we put money on you, brother. Like, it would have been nice to know this, but I get why they don't disclose that information.
You want to get paid, man. That happened with Pereira. You could literally debate that when the coach is like, well, he had tendonitis. And I'm just like, but so that's what restricted his movement. That's what restricted him going for the finish.
Yeah, so, it's happened a couple times. So
it is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is. Like you said it.
Next up, we have Su Young Woo. This is crazy odds, minus 700, taking on AJ Cunningham. Woo is Young Yu. I'm sorry, I said Woo. We have Su Young Yu. Young Yu is 14-3-0 and is 4-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last beating Berjang Zaleski via unanimous decision. Cunningham is 11-4-0 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last losing to Ludovic Klein via KO. In that fight, though, if you're just looking at topology and you're thinking, oh, he got KO'd, he did take that fight on very, very short notice. And I believe it was at 155. I forgot what weight class it was at. But you look at this fight here, the reason I think the odds are so wide is because AJ Cunningham is dropping from 155 to 135. So how is he going to look at 135? Is he going to even make weight, right? Is he even going to make weight? He does have he's a power striker who moves forward. He gets in your face. He doesn't have necessarily the best technique or the great defense when it comes to grappling and striking. And I think his lack of grappling defense is going to be the issue here. He's tough though and durable. He likes to stand switch. He engages, which makes him dangerous. But I think what's his issue here is going to be the takedown defense. When you look at Young Yu, he's a pressure wrestler in the sense that he's going to continuously pursue you and take you down and relentlessly throw you on the ground the whole fight. Think of like Ray Saruya up against Joshua Van, but having the success, right? Like his striking isn't the best, but I think Cunningham's lack of takedown defense is going to be his strength in this fight. So I think he's going to be able to take him down. He's going to be able to control him. Yeah. I'm going to go with Young Yu here.
Give me the American, bro. Taking the
American. With American. And the reason I'm going with Young Yu is because of that 135 weight cut, man. I don't even know if he's going to make weight. So I think, how's he going to look, man? That's the big question. How's he going to look?
Look, I got to say, takedown defense, great. But, when you go down to two different divisions, bro, when man's going to what, 135, dropping basically 20 pounds he's dropping. He's gonna be the bigger fighter, champ. And the thing is, you could have very good takedown, but your takedown is not as effective against the bigger guys sometimes. So I'm banking on that. I'm banking on the reach. I'm banking at Law MMA devised a game plan to get it done, right? Because that's the thing about it. It's just control, and I don't know. We'll see things that could happen. He's cutting too much weight. He's a little bit chinny. Because the thing is, Sue hasn't really been tested UFC base, right? So if there's all these kind of what ifs, right? What ifs, but
it's always what ifs, and then are we going to actually see him wrestle too? A lot of these cats that have these wrestling heavy approaches sometimes don't wrestle.
Clean
so
is no joke, though, bro. Clean.
We've seen that with Rinya.
Yeah, clean is no joke, though. I said it before. I'm looking for the odds, and
yeah, my boy's chasing that Chris Barnett submission.
Never, brother, never. No, I don't. Fuck that. Fuck that. Listen, I picked them up at a plus 450. Do as you will.
But hey, you're going dog heavy on this fight, man. You gotta. I know you made some funds, but you gotta relax a little bit, man.
No, not really. I only have Musasa and Duben so far at a dog.
All right. We'll move on here to a dog that I think can actually win here. We have Ryan Spann taking on Waldo Cortes-Acosta. Cortes-Acosta, the Dominican. I know your Dominican brother. He is 12-1-0 and is 4-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last beating Robeles de Spain via unanimous decision. Ryan Spann is 22-10-0 and is 2-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last beating Oven St. Preux via submission. Now, Cortes-Acosta is a striker with a boxing-heavy approach. He's a former boxer, a former baseball player. He has good technique and decent power. He has 6 knockouts in his 12 wins. Though in the UFC, only one of his 5 victories has come by KO. All his other wins have gone to decision. He has good cardio, good durability. His grappling is good functional, but rarely utilized. He did utilize it against Robeles de Spain, but that was because he was getting bombs thrown on him, right? He switched up the game plan. He's like, let me take this guy down. And sure enough, he's the one who exposed Robeles de Spain's lack of grappling ability. He does like to keep the fight standing, though. He's fast in his weight class, but he's going up against an individual in Ryan Spann who's coming up to heavyweight. He's going to welcome him to heavyweight. Big question is, what's the size difference going to be, right? I think that's my main concern is this guy going to be too big for Spann? But then one of the positives I think about is Spann's going to come in from light heavyweight to heavyweight. he's gonna be the faster fighter, right? I think for the first time, he's gonna Acosta is gonna face somebody who's faster than him. Spann is a versatile fighter with a dangerous submission game. He has the athleticism, he has the length, he has the explosiveness, but he does struggle with durability, his cardio, right? Like he has been finished before. I think 4 out of his 5 losses are by KO. So his chin is a question. His cardio is an issue, but I'm just interested to see how he's going to look at heavyweight, man. I'm going to go with Spann here. I think he's decent enough on the ground. If Cortez does try to implement a wrestling heavy, if the power in the first round's too much for Cortez from Spann, I could see him trying to go for a takedown. I could see Spann, locking something up, getting the submission. But if he makes, I just want to see how Spann's going to look in the second and third round, man. But I like Spann here. I'm not too impressed with Cortes-Acosta. I don't like him too much. I don't like his strike. He looks for, like, I watched the Arlovsky fight, and he was searching for power punches. He was like, he's a boxer, and he wasn't really utilizing his jab or his combinations to set up that knockout punch. He was just throwing that overhand right, that overhand, that straight over right, that right straight. I'm sorry.
I mean,
I wasn't too impressed. I even messaged you. I was like, bro, what's my guy doing? What are they doing in the Dominican Republic? I messaged you. So I don't know. I'm gonna go with Ryan Spann here. I like him as a dog. He's gonna be the pick for me.
Waldo's the pick here, baby. You say speed,
any biases? Any biases out of curiosity?
Absolutely not.
Okay, because okay. Let me play the clip before. Like, hey, we're going with Dominica, baby.
We're going Dominican. Of course, we're rocking with the Dominican, bro.
You gotta rock with your people, man.
Yeah, but like you see that Ryan Spann is a quicker fighter, bro. Ryan Spann has one good round in him before the oxygen. Get the oxygen tank. They got to go to the back. Bro, if they would allow oxygen tank, Ryan Spann would be the first fighter. But I mean that with the utmost respect, brother. Him, fucking, what's this other heavyweight fighter that used the fuck? What's his name?
Inhaler?
He's not in the UFC anymore. Greg Hardy. Him and Greg Hardy. Look, he looked good against OSP, but OSP was on the way out. You cannot tell me.
Was Arlovsky on the way out? Out of curiosity.
I think. Okay, so I'll say this. Costa. No. Wait a minute.
I'm just saying. Was Arlovsky on the way out, or was he?
I would say that Acosta was chasing the finish with Arlovsky. He wasn't jabbing. I think with Ryan Spann.
Mm-hmm.
If he treats it like Arlovsky, he's going to lose. He needs the jab. He needs to use his calf kicks. And I think he gets it done via jab and calf kick. I think he mobilizes him. Like I said, the question is that you're betting against who has the better cardio tank here. I think.
Well, it's going to be obviously based on recency bias. Spann does not have the cardio. He gets tired in fights. But
he has one round then.
After seeing Costa take those barrage of punches from Robeles and just kind of like not like just up against the cage, man, like and then shooting for the takedown, I see Ryan Spann doing the same but having success if it goes to the ground. Like I don't think he's a scrub on the ground. I think he's going to be able to scramble, bring it back up to the feet or secure something. So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting fight. I like Spann though here. I think Spann gets it done, man. Especially like after his last performance when he got on the mic, he said, "You know what? My coach has been telling me I've been fucking around too much. I know I have the tools to be good. I know I'm inconsistent, so I'm about to lock in. So let's see. Prove me wrong. Lock in."
But did he lock in? Because like I'll be honest
with
you.
He won. He beat Owens.
He won, but why are they going? So I mean, we're gonna find out a lot about this. Like Ryan Spann does have the edge a little bit. So if Ryan's able, like I said, if Ryan is able to keep the jab and not get tired, it's a different story.
What we don't know is what if this is his last fight on his contract, and they're like, you know what, move up to heavyweight, give this guy a shot. Let's see if he has what it takes. And then this is your life. We don't know that too, right? So it's a lot of shit we don't know, but I'm still gonna pick Ryan Spann here. I want to see what he does at heavyweight.
Yeah, let's see. I gotta go with Waldo. I think I put Waldo in a parlay. I gotta tell you, I already locked
heavyweights, man. Come on, heavyweights. It's come on. Is it gonna end in a finish? Is it gonna go to decision? We'll see.
I do have him in a parlay with Lima.
I will say this though: if it makes it past the first round and we get into that second, the half of the second round, I'm gonna be a little nervous. I'm gonna be like, okay, Ryan, don't get knocked out. What are we doing?
I got a sleepy mask, brother.
That was kind of creepy, man. Don't ever do that again, brother. I'm sorry,
Listen,
man. I might have to cut that. Don't ever do that again.
no. Play it on, bro. Play it on. Play it on.
Blowing me kisses. What are we doing?
I ain't throwing nobody a kiss, but you know, my mom was gonna need a sleeping mask after this. I'll tell you that right now.
All right. So you're predicting knockout? Waldo Cortes knockout?
No. I predict the decision. Honestly, I don't even see the knockout.
You think it's going to decision? All right, we'll see what happens.
I
like a Spann here. I was about to say Van.
Well,
I like
before you
Spann
move
here.
on, let's look at that prop bet, right? Let's look at
Yeah, bring it up.
Not that much. Will the fight go to the distance? Yes, at a plus 135. No, at a minus 175. So
it's heavyweights, right? There's going to be a finish. There's got to be
the over 1.5 is minus 185 though.
The issue. What's the decision?
A plus 135.
So that's interesting because you look at it. Waldo has a lot of his fights go to decision, right? But then you look at Spann, he has been knocked out. So you have a boxer who hasn't knocked out much people in the UFC go to decision, but you have a guy who gets knocked out. So that might be a play right there. Go to decision. I like that.
Like
we'll see though. I gotta look at it once I lock in and look at all the bets. We'll see if I put that out.
It all depends on Ryan Spann's tank because if my
his
man
mindset, bro, his mindset, man, like he's very inconsistent. Well, when he's on, he looks good, man. He looks like he could be a fucking contender, man. When he's on,
but then maybe the play for Ryan Spann is a plus 450 in the first round. Think about it.
Maybe, yeah. We'll see. I gotta look at it. Once I look at them all on my end, I'll be able to assess it a little bit better. Next up, we have another debuting individual in Kevin Vallejos. This is the main card, by the way. First fight of the main card. Kevin Vallejos taking on Seung-Woo Choi. Vallejos is 14-1-0 and is 4-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last beating Cam Teague via KO. Woo Choi is 11-7-0 and is 1-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last losing to Steve Garcia via KO. Now, when you look at Woo Choi, he's a Muay Thai specialist. He has long, raging striking game. But I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I think he's going to get finished here, man. I think this fight is designed to prop up Kevin Vallejos. No disrespect to Woo Choi. When you look at Vallejos, he's a high-volume striker with a boxing-heavy approach. He throws nice combos. He's fast. He has good techniques. He'll put you up against the cage. He'll hit you with strikes to the body, finishing at the head. His only loss comes to Jean Silva in 2023 in the Dana White Contender Series, and that loss has aged really well, right? You look at Jean Silva now; he's doing good things. He's undefeated. He's off to face Bryce Mitchell at UFC 314. His grappling, however, has been untested, as we say with a lot of these debuting people. But I don't think he has an issue here with Seung-Woo Choi. I think he gets it done. I think he gets the knockout. I think he gets the finish. I really like his boxing. I remember as the week started, I kind of was sending you footage of him and be like, yo, this guy's no joke, right? Like, just to kind of refresh, because I had known of Kevin Vallejos. I had followed him on Instagram months ago, or after his Dana White Contender Series finish. I followed him on Instagram. I started watching more of his stuff, and I've been a fan of him for a while. So I think he gets it done here, man.
Well, I mean, look, I have him in part of my parlay. I picked him up at a minus 490. I took advantage of it last week because I know for certain fighters, the odds were going to go exponentially up. For this fighter right now, he's sitting at a minus 625. This has gone exponentially up. He went up minus 200 points. I have a parlay bet with Vallejos. I think he's a dog. I will be going Vallejos by points at a plus 330. At a plus 330 by points, it's phenomenal.
Can you explain what the point bet is for the people who don't know?
He just outstrikes them more, basically. He just gonna go based off point system.
He is giving up some reach here, though. He's giving up 6 inches, man. What do you think? He's giving up 6 inches of reach and then 5 inches of height.
Bro,
do you think Woo Choi fraud checks him and keeps him at range and beats him that way?
That boy don't got that.
Or do you think he gets into the pocket?
That boy, he's gonna rip him apart, bro. He's gonna go in there and rip and dine.
His striking is nice, right? His striking is nice. I like his striking.
Well, and I mean, look, I think by points, because the thing is, Kevin's so fucking hungry that he's either gonna get knocked out by being sloppy, which I don't think so, or he's gonna rip and dip. And look, 14-1, 1170. The finish here Um, bro, they even got Vallejos at a plus 180
Damn,
in the first round.
it's
You know how
crazy.
crazy that is, bro? When you say fight will go, this is plus 225, but the no is a minus 310. That is insane. But that being said, right now I just put a plus 330 wins by points, and I think he does. Zong does not deal with this guy effectively. I don't. Well, like look at the graph. Look at the data. Come on,
Yeah,
bro. Has
I
he
agree.
been
I
using
think
like
uh
that,
I
bro?
think Vallejos, I'm pretty confident on him. He's gonna be the pick. I'm gonna probably sprinkle some. I gotta look at all those bets. The thing with me is I'm in Vegas, right? And a lot of the books don't drop these prop bets until Thursday or Friday, like as it gets closer to the weigh-ins and stuff. So
Bro,
takes a minute.
I'm going all in. I just put more money on the plus 330 by points, bro. I'm
Get
going
it,
all
get
in.
it. We'll move on here. We'll have and then make sure you guys check on X for our bets that we put out. We're gonna put them out later on in the week. Prop bets, parlay bets, prop bets. I know my boy's giving you all of them right now, but we're gonna put them out officially. He is making some bets on. We do bet personally, and then we do put bets out for the people that we feel that are gonna hit 100%. But we also do our DGen bets, right? Our bets that we don't tell anybody about because if they hit, we look like geniuses. If they don't, we stay quiet about it. Right? That's kind of what everybody does, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's like those guys that put bets on all the dogs and the submissions, and then none of them hit. But if one hits, oh man, they're on X right away. Oh, I'm a genius. Follow me. Let me get my likes. Let me get the hell out of
I
here.
think
Do
the
that on a
safest bet
consistent basis.
the
Do that on
safe
a consistent basis.
yeah, but I
Whatever.
think bro, after I realizing like I just went back into like remember seeing um Kevin put hands on a couple different of his opponents, going to a decision with John Silva, and the flashback, bro, was like, this guy's a point, like he's a volume striker.
Yeah.
So at a plus 310, bro, I just sprinkled 550. The last $50, take it, bro. Take my fucking money, bro.
Nice. We'll move on here to another debuting individual in DR Nurgozhay taking on Bretson Ribiero. Your boy Bretson Ribiero. I know you like him. Nurgozhay is 10-0 and is 5-5 in their last five bouts. Last beating Bartosz Zuskisk via KO. I probably butchered that. I apologize. I am Hispanic. Ribiero is 16-7-0 and is 3-5 in their last five bouts. Last beating Kyle Machado via split decision. I had chose Kyle Machado in that fight, and I believe you were on Ribiero's side when we broke that fight down. Um, Funny enough, Machado is no longer with the UFC, right? I think he got cut after that fight. So when you look at Ribiero, his nickname is the Gorilla. He's a rangy striker with knockout power. He's aggressive. He pushes forward. His ground game isn't the best, but it's okay. It's getting better. He has 3 submission wins. In his UFC debut, he KO'd. We saw him KO'd by Zhang Mingyang, but since then he's gone 1-1. He got his first victory up against Kyle Machado. He's very aggressive, as I mentioned, but sometimes wild, which leaves him open to counters, as we saw with Zhang Mingyang. When you look at Nurgozhay, how do you say that? Nurgozhay. I'm gonna say Nurgozhay. When you look at Nurgozhay, he's a good striker, man. He's fucking. I've watched a couple of his fights. He's very methodical. He takes his time. He gets his reads in. He finds his range, and then he opens up, man. Then he explodes. He has good knockout power. 8 of his stoppages come via 6 via KO and 2 via submission. Um, he's a former light heavyweight champ at a previous organization. Uh, I think he's good here, man. I think this fight's gonna be. You know how I think this fight's gonna go. I think Ribeiro's gonna come out. He's gonna come out aggressive. He's gonna welcome him to the UFC, welcome him to the division. And Nurgozhay, he might be a little nervous. He might be a little starstruck. But then as the fight progresses, he's gonna survive that initial onslaught. I think as the fight progresses, we're gonna see him pull away here, man. I think he's good. I think he's good for light heavyweight. I like him. I like for what I saw in the fights I saw, and he's fought decent competition. It's not like he's fighting these cans, man.
I mean, I want to stop being a DGen, but I can't. I have to look at Ribeiro, and I have to say that he fought against a heavyweight, but that heavyweight came to dance too, right? That was a split decision, if I'm not mistaken.
Don't do
Kyle
it, man.
dropped
Don't
from
do it.
heavyweight to Machado. Um, I don't see the like. That's the thing about it. Zhang has very heavy hands. I was looking at Yeah, it's a hard one, man. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Ribeiro. Like, I'm not as confident. I'm not. I really am not. This fight now is a minus 370 now. So the boys have put a lot of money into this fight.
Dude's good, man.
He's
Dude's
good. No,
good.
he's good. He's good. No discounting that he's not good. But fight will go distance at plus 190. I mean that maybe that's one prop bet to look.
I just
Um,
think I just think he's more technical and he's more methodical with his approach. I think Ribiero, he has that like that first round ability, right, where he goes crazy.
yeah,
But I think him doing that is gonna leave him open to getting countered,
he's a
getting
dog.
hit. Something DR is gonna see, right?
That
I
man's a
think DR
dog.
can get it done.
Yeah, like I said, I'm going a little bit deep. Like in my last fight, I went a little. Well, in my previous two cards, I went a little bit degen. I think I'm going degen now.
You
I
went a
think.
little bit. You went really decent in the last
Well, it's
UFC
value.
card.
It's value. Like I think here, like I said, like I pick Ribeiro, but I'm probably staying away.
Mm-hmm.
I already got my bets in, but I will. I don't. I don't have the confidence to bet money on Ribeiro though. But if he comes in and plays the jab distance and dance and take down defense, but if he allows the yard, he gets closed up, puts him in the
Mm-hmm.
cage, he's gonna knock him out. So
All right. We'll move on here to Cody Gibson taking on Damon Blackshear. Gibson is 21-10-0 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last beating Chad and Helliger via unanimous decision, where we both chose Gibson, I believe, in that fight. We were successful. Blackshear is 15-7-1 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last beating Cody Stamen via submission, where we both picked Blackshear in that fight and were successful. Gibson, he's a well-rounded fighter. He has that wrestling base. He has decent enough striking to level change and secure takedowns. Um, you know, he has good cardio. He has good durability. He has gone the distance a few times in the UFC. So, gonna be interesting this fight. I think this fight's pretty close. But you look at, excuse me. When you look at Blackshear, though, he's a submission specialist. He has 10 out of his 15 wins by submission. I think he's good, man. I think he's the better striker of the two, and I think that his ground game is good enough to where I don't think Gibson's gonna bully him and control him on the ground and secure. I don't think he's gonna maul him on the ground. Uh, in his last fight, he looked good, man. He freaking blitzed Cody Stamen, hit him with that knee, and then punches, and then he finished it with the choke. Uh, yeah, man, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is no joke. Oh, I think I'm gonna go with Damon Blackshear here. I think he's just a little bit better everywhere. Yeah, I think Damon Blackshear gets it done, man.
um fuck.
I know you're being DJ. Go ahead, say it.
Go Gibson. I don't see the tag of minus 400. And right now he's a minus 490 actually. So I don't know, bro. Like I'll be honest with you. And Blackshear's also a wrestler, but I think he could gas in this fight. Like I've seen yeah. Yeah, that's the thing about it. It's Joe Johnson. Yeah, that's another Dominican, bro. Jose Johnson. He's cut from the UFC. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go with good Gibson. Like I do have a bet on Gibson, a winning bet. Like I said, I'm going more dog heavy in this card. I have a maybe there's something in the air. I don't know. We'll see.
Right on. You're going with Gibson, the dog.
Yeah.
We'll move
Alpha
on
male.
here too. Alexander Hernandez taking on Kurt Holobaugh. Hernandez is 15-8-0 and is 2-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last beating Austin Hubbard via split decision. Holobaugh is 21-8-0 and is 4-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last beating Kanyan Kruczewski via unanimous decision. The Great Ape, man, I think he's well rounded. He has that kickboxing base. He's fast. He has good leg kicks, good kicks to the body. He has solid boxing. He does have the wrestling background, but he doesn't always utilize it. He's been fluctuating in weight classes, 145, 155. He isn't the most consistent. He does get hit. He does take a lot of damage in his fights. He does bleed, right? And people, when they see that, they often think that he's losing. And it's just the inconsistency is what turns a lot of people off from him, right? He does have the tools to be good, but he doesn't always use it. He is at a new camp now, and we saw it in his last fight when he beat Austin Hubbard, how his game plan has been different. I think going up against Holobaugh, who's a well-rounded fighter with a strong boxing foundation. He pushes the pace, he attacks the body, he attacks to the head. Being in the small octagon, I think he's going to push the pace for 3 rounds. He's going to get in his face. He's going to apply pressure. He does have a dangerous submission game. He has that Brazilian jiu-jitsu brown belt, so if it does go to the ground, he does have that threat there, but I don't think he can submit Alex Hernandez. I think in this fight for Alex Hernandez to be successful is to incorporate kicks to the body, kicks to the legs, and then secure takedowns late in the round. We don't see him utilize his wrestling a lot, but I'm confident that at 155, his game plan going up against somebody who is a forward pressure striker is going to have some wrestling involved, right? I think his grappling is good enough to not get caught up in a submission. So I think Hernandez can get it done here. I know that he's inconsistent. I know that, we don't know what kind of Hernandez we're going to get, right? He can get that ego push and just engage in the striking, right? And just want to prove that he can bang with this guy. But if he incorporates that wrestling base, if he incorporates the leg kicks, yeah, I think he can get it done here, man.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Hernandez too.
And Kurt Holobaugh is a good dog. I'm surprised you're not going with this dog out of all the dogs, man, because he pushes forward, man. And I think the potential for him to hurt Hernandez, right, and get in his face and just do that for 3 rounds is there.
It's also 38 years old, right?
Yeah, but I don't think he's slowing down. He's a couple of his fights, he's pretty bad, man.
No, he's a dog. He's a good fighter. He's not bad. Like if I'm not mistaken, like he was cut from the UFC and now back in, right? So let's look at yeah, there it is. Like he had a kind of a 3. So Shane Burgos, but what he was this at a featherweight too? I think it was at featherweight, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, like you said, like he's come back looking better. But I don't know. I gotta say I like Hernandez. I've always liked Hernandez. Hernandez, if he's on point, he gets it done. He has very good footwork. I remember he used to mimic TJ Dillashaw for a little bit, just making it a little bit of fun. He beat at one time like the lightweight champion of the PFL. Austin, sorry, the French dude, I forget his name. But I'm just going Hernandez. I just always liked Hernandez, even when he loses.
Right on. We're both going Hernandez in this fight to get it done. But I think it is a lot closer, right? I think that line is closing in. I think as the week progresses, we're going to see that line.
No. He's at minus 205 right now. So
it went up? Okay, cool. Because I'm just looking at what Topology is showing. So, okay. So there's more money coming in on him.
Yeah, minus 205.
I think he does get it done here. I think he does get it done. I like him at 155. I like him at this new camp. And I think if he incorporates that wrestling and secures takedowns late in the round, I think he could get it done here, man. He has to be smart, though. That's the thing. Not always the best decision maker.
That's the thing.
Yeah. Next up, we have our co-main event. We have Eliseo Zaleski taking on Chidi and Njokuani. Zaleski is 25-8-1 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last beating Zach Scrogan via KO. If you remember in that fight, Scrogan came like it was his UFC debut. He came in on short notice. He was there to get finished, and he got finished. And Njokuani is 24-10-0 and is 2-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last beating Jared Gooden via unanimous decision. Zaleski has that capoeira background. He has good striking, crisp striking. He has a finishing ability. He has 18 out of his 25 wins via stoppage, 14 KOs, 4 submissions. He's a entertaining striker, man. He's known for his spinning kicks, his knees, relentless pace, and he has solid grappling, right? Although he does like to keep the fight standing. When you look at Njokuani, he has that Muay Thai and kickboxing background. He has that range, right? He likes to utilize that range. He throws powerful strikes. 15 out of his 24 fights are done via finish. He has 10 KOs, 5 submissions. He has KOs over Marc-Andre Barriot and Dusko Todorovic. His grappling is okay, but it's rarely his focus. And he does get hit a lot. He has 40% striking defense. It leaves him vulnerable to getting hit, but he does have the range, so he's able to keep people at bay. His durability is an issue. I think, having 10 losses, in which 2 are having 10 losses via KO, in which 2 come in the UFC, there's always that concern, right? This fight is at welterweight. Uh, Chidi's coming down. He's been down. I think this is his third fight at welterweight, but he hasn't really been tested with somebody like Zaleski, right? I think Zaleski in this fight, he's going to need to close the distance and grapple, apply pressure, and drag him into deep waters. I want to see how Chidi looks in the third round up against somebody who's just consistently pressuring him, putting the pace on him. If Chidi keeps the fight standing, right? If he avoids being taken down, he maintains that range, has solid output, he can secure a victory here. But I think Zaleski gets it done, man.
Chidi. Chidi gets it done. And like, look, the guy's been nothing but amazing at welterweight. I think at welterweight he brings a different level of skill. Like I think I love how he fought Gordon. Gordon's no joke, right? Like Gordon is a 23-9 fighter. Zaleski will be proved to be his toughest match so far. I'll tell you that right now. But he's going to be the massive fighter. And like I said, I think when Zaleski shoots, Chidi defends it, goes to the tie clinch, lands knees, lands range. The only issue with Chidi is he's known to be chinny. But bro, like it's Gregory Rodriguez, man. Like, and then you got like Michael Olexek. That guy's a beast. Like, because he was fighting from like at light heavyweight, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I like the dog, man. I like the dog. The dog still he's still a plus 155. So
Another
yeah,
dog, huh? All right. My boy, we're about to put you in the dog kennel with Santos, man. Adam Brazil. You know what was my favorite part about UFC 13 was in the first fight, right? I think it was in the second round when Santos got hit and he kind of like reacted to it. Daniel Cormier was like, "Oh, he likes it though, man. This guy grew up in a kennel next to a pit bull, man. He likes the violence." I don't know why that made me laugh so hard.
That's crazy.
Fucking Daniel Cormier, man. He's entertaining. Next up, we have our main event. Fight number 2, the rematch. Marvin Vettori taking on Roman Dolidze. You know, in their first fight, you would think it'd be a grappler's delight, right? You know, Vettori, the wrestling background, right? Dolidze with the grappling background, you would think that they'd all shoot, but there was no takedowns in that fight. I think Dolidze attempted 1 takedown, 2 takedowns. It was mainly striking, and you know the fight, in my opinion, could have gotten either way. Vettori was victorious. He did win via unanimous decision, but Dolidze, you know, he has that power. He cracked him in the first round. I mean, Vettori hasn't been knocked out, but he cracked him in that first round, and he kind of had him fighting backwards for a bit until he pulled ahead. When you look at Vettori, he's been out for a while. When was his last fight? Let's see. Open up here.
Vettori?
I know it was against
a year and a half, close to 2 years ago. A year and 11.
2020. All right. So you look at Vettori, right? He's 19-6-1, and he's 2-5 in his last 5 bouts. Last losing to Jared Cannonier via unanimous decision, where Cannonier looked great, right? He was stuffing all the takedowns. He was piecing them up on the feet. It was a great performance. The Dolidze is 14-3-0 and is 3-5 in their last 5 bouts. Last beating Kevin Holland via KO, where Kevin Holland was taken down. He broke his rib, and then he was finished. You know, as I mentioned, Vettori is well-rounded. He's a southpaw. He has durable striking and a strong wrestling base. His boxing is crisp. I like his boxing. He has had knockouts, but he does tend to go to a decision a lot, right? Like I think 6 out of his 9 UFC wins come at a form of decision. My issue with this fight is like there's 2 sides to this fight. Like you look at Dolidze, he's been more active, right? His striking is aggressive. He has the takedowns if needed. He's been active. Like he's fought 2 times since his loss to Vettori, right? I think he fought Anthony Smith, and then he fought Kevin Holland, if I'm not mistaken. So he's been active. You have Vettori, who's been out with an injury. I think he injured his shoulder, right? He's been out for about 2 years. But then the other issue is this is a 5-round fight. How's the Dolidze going to look, right, in the 4th round, 5th round, and how's his gas tank going to hold up? Because we have seen him get get tired before. But then how's Vettori going to look not being in the octagon for 2 years, right, up against somebody who has been active, who has had a couple wins, who who has been looking good. Uh, I don't know, man. I think Dolidze takes the rematch. I'm gonna go with Dolidze here. Talking about dogs, we've been talking about dogs all night. I like Dolidze as a dog
Yeah,
here.
well, that's a safer dog, though. Don't be fucking with me with dog.
But what
Because
are the odds now? What are the odds now? Because here
like
they're kind of
a
even.
plus a plus 135. It's not that much. It's just gone a little bit up.
So it's gone a little
Um,
bit. The thing, like I said, my main concern in this fight is the cardio, right? How's the cardio gonna look? If I think in this fight, the Dolidze will look, because I think their first fight was 3 rounds, right? I think their first fight was 3 rounds, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so too.
I
Yes.
think it was 3 rounds. So I think in this fight, the Dolidze is probably gonna look to pace himself a lot more, and I think he's gonna secure more take or search for more takedowns. I think in the first fight he didn't shoot for as much takedowns um as he normally does in his recent fights. So I think he's gonna incorporate more takedown attempts, and he's gonna pace himself. And he does have the power shots. I think he can tag him a couple of times. I don't know if he puts him away. And then with Vettori is like, how does he look? Is he fully recovered? How's he gonna look in the octagon right after 2 years? He took a lot of damage up against Jared Cannonier. So it's going to be interesting, man. It's an interesting fight. If you're on the side of Vettori, I get it, right? I get the arguments. But if you're on the side of the Dolidze, I also get the arguments. And I also get the concerns for both. So I'm going to side with the Dolidze, though. Give me the active fighter. I think he gets it done.
Yeah. I mean, the Imavov, like, I was looking at the last fight, and I am going Vettori here.
Okay.
The But yeah, Deloitte looked good in his last fight against Vettori. Like if you actually research the fight, you could see that Vettori didn't really back down. But I don't know.
I watched their first fight, and I would have had it as a split decision for Vettori. I didn't think it was a unanimous decision. Like I think
he outpointed him.
What's up?
He outpointed him. That's the issue.
Yeah, I think Dolidze looked good in that fight, though. I think you looked good in that fight.
But this is a 5-round fight, and I think every time Deloitte has gone to a 5-rounder, kind of slows down a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I didn't like what I saw against Imavov. Like that was crazy how tired he looked, brother. Imavov too couldn't get it done. Like he should have gotten it done, but he didn't get it done. So I'm going with Vettori based off that. We don't know. I haven't put a single bet. I'm gonna allow all my lines to kind of clear, depending on how much winnings I get. We're probably gonna go with Vettori with what do you call it? Yeah, the money line. But I said like that's probably gonna be like at Saturday night, so that's gonna be a live bet. Yeah, man. I just think I don't know. He hasn't shown me anything. The thing with Holland is, if you look at the past fight, bro, Holland is not a middleweight. Vettori whooped the shit out of him like 3-4 years ago in the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Vettori, I just hope he doesn't go at a minus 200 but when I pick him, because then there's no point of picking him.
All right, so you're going to go with Vettori to get it done. I mean,
Yes.
I understand the arguments for Vettori, right? The cardio, the boxing, right? The wrestling base. I think
He
the
really
endurance
should have
is the
fought
main argument.
Brian Allen. I think Brendan Allen, Vettori and Allen have beef, but like I said, like let's see, right? It's number 11 versus 16, but in the rankings they're a little bit closer. So yeah, I mean, let's see what Deloitte gets it done. Like, let's see how he holds for 5 rounds, because this is a big issue for Deloitte. And champ, I think this might be one of those turning points fights for Deloitte. He comes in, he looks amazing, he looks like a 5-round fighter. I just don't buy it. I just don't buy it.
We'll see. We'll find out, man. We'll find out. You could say that Marvin Vettori is. I'll go back to the last. Oh, you moved it.
Sorry.
You can say that he has 2 L's. The Jared Cannonier and then the Brendan Allen in the casino at the Hard Rock, man. You could say that he lost that one. So
Bro,
I mean, coming off of 2 losses versus coming off of 2 wins, I don't know, man. What do you think?
No. It's crazy.
That was my attempt at a lame joke.
Jared, I know, but Jared,
go back to what you're gonna show me.
Who wins, Deloitte or Jared Cannonier, bro? Who wins?
Dolidze or Jared Cannonier?
Yeah, who wins, bro? Who wins?
I don't know. It's a good fight.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good fight.
You don't know? Oh, I know. This guy right here wins. Come on, bro. You think RoboCop and Deloitte will have something in common that's called the gas tank? Come on, bro. What are we doing over here?
What were you gonna show, bro? Before we
Huh?
wrap it up.
No, bro. Always a pleasure. Follow us on X.
No,
Um,
you were gonna show something on typology. You were gonna show something.
no, I'm just gonna go back in the card just to kind of see the cancellations that there've
Oh,
been
show
in
the
this
canceled
card. And
fights.
yeah. My little
Oh,
boy's
just
like,
one fight cancel. Do you think that because the UFC cards have been you know interesting this year? Like every Friday, like a weigh-ins, there's always been a canceled bout. Do you think we have any fights canceled here?
I think we don't. I think this time is different.
We're gonna get
We
the
got a
full
lot of
14.
cancellations.
There's 14 fights, right? I think we're gonna get the full 14.
Yeah, there's been a lot. Like I said, like there's been a lot of different cancellations, and man, like it would just hurt to have like different ones. I gotta say, I'm a little bit dog heavy. Like I'll tell you right now, off the
A
bat,
little bit, a
parlay.
little
Yeah,
bit.
parlay Vallejos and Aldo for a plus 200. Cody Gibson at a plus 340. Shitty at a plus 155. Duben at a plus 285. We got Stephanie Luciano. DJ and Bet does not go the distance. Carlos Vera, um, $20 plus 550. AJ Cunningham, again, plus 450. Waldo by points. Um, I'm going a little bit DJ this time. I just realized how DJ I am going, so we'll see.
It's all good. It's all good. I don't have anything for you guys yet. I'll put that out later on in the week as we always do. Make sure you guys tap in. Make sure you hit the like. Make sure you hit the subscribe. Make sure you follow. The link to all our socials are in the description below. Show some love. We're not asking you for anything. Just a like, subscribe, a comment.
Yep.
Any parting words, my man?
Nah, bro, just be safe. Don't bet money you don't have. And champ, I'll see you Saturday.
Yes, sir. Peace. Love what you love. Do what you do. Late.